And hello again, 5 minutes after the last video I made, although God knows how long it will take to actually post this. It takes stupid amounts of time to upload them. So yes, nightmares and fear. Here's a quick overview of 2 dreams I've had. One had some demon thing ripping people to shreds in an aeroplane. Another had the DeLorean from Back to the Future flying off. Guess which one of these was a proper big nightmare that made me terrified? Here's a clue. I'm asking the question, therefore obviously it's a DeLorean. And also obviously, my brain is weird. Why did it find that scary? Yes, starting from the beginning. Actually, technically starting from the end, because this was one I had afterwards, but I'll start with this one. The plane one. It was very detailed. And it was done like a movie, and essentially it opened up with a plane, and one of the passengers on the plane, who looked a bit like Dara O'Brien, if anyone hasn't seen him, bald, slightly pudgy, I suppose. Don't tell him I said that, although he doesn't know who I am, so fine, tell him I said that. Anyway, a bald guy. Is, I think, like possessed by some demon, or he's like standing there in the I'm possessed pose as like the demon is sort of behind him but not really there. A dramatic movie thing. There's red lighting everywhere as well, and yeah, everyone on the plane gets killed horribly. It was disturbingly gory, and I remember actually thinking as it happened, this is really gory, why is this happening in my dream, what is wrong with me? Saying that, it was sort of movie gore, so you don't like actually see people being ripped open and so on. They're just sort of like bloody corpses left at the end. So it wasn't like it was being rated 18 or something. Probably 15. If it was a movie, that is. Anyway, after the plane lands, somehow, that was never explained, how the plane lands with everyone dead, but hey, there's a demon, so magic. Yes, afterwards there's a policeman, who was me, and the policeman is going to the plane to investigate. The police are already there, but this is like the detective guys being called in to investigate. Annoyingly, I stopped off in Waterstones to go read some books first, and I remember thinking, because this was a weird one where I was actually aware that it was a dream in a way, because usually I'm not, and I remember thinking, damn it, stop going to Waterstones and reading these books. I'm going to wake up soon anyway, and I want to get as far in the story as I can before I wake up, because this is interesting. Anyway, I get to the plane, see the perfect mess of all the murdered people, and yeah, about then wake up, unfortunately, before the story got anywhere. The interesting thing is that I was the policeman, and the policeman was the bald guy on the plane. I don't know if he was like a twin brother, or some weird mystical thing, or if he was dreaming that he was involved in it, or something, I don't know. It would have made for an interesting story to figure out how on earth that actually works, but then I woke up. So yeah, curse you, biological clock that makes you wake up. Yeah, so that was that one. Gory, disturbing, not actually scary. On the other hand, 3 dreams actually. In fact, this probably could have fit in a recurring video, although technically it wasn't the same dream each time. The first one, I wake up, I'm in bed, and I'm looking out the window behind me. There's a sort of weird variable geometry things, which there usually is in my dreams, things that move in ways they shouldn't actually be able to move to allow me to actually open a window, which I can't at home because bed gets in the way. Anyway, that's irrelevant really, but there's a flying saucer, or probably a saucer. It's dark so you can't see, but you can see these 3 little lights on it, little white lights spinning around in a circle, and they sort of go around a bit and then slow, and then a bright red light shines right at me, so the UFO has seen me, and then it kind of zooms off. If anything, I probably startled the UFO, but regardless, I woke up terrified, and I'm slightly puzzled as why. But I basically woke up in a cold sweat, and it's the first time that had actually happened to me in a nightmare. I just like suddenly jerked awake. The next night, or rather the next time I dreamed, which was probably the next night, or within a day or two anyway, it was some time ago so I don't remember. This night again, this time I'm looking out the front bedroom window of the house, because my bedroom's at the back at home, and a car is driving along, and it takes off. I don't think it was actually the DeLorean from Back to the Future, but it did it in that style. And yeah, and then I suddenly woke up feeling terrified and even more confused, because that's not scary, that's awesome. And then the third night was one with, I was in bed again, and there was like some guy standing over me, and again I sort of jerked awake feeling terrified. This one was a bit weird, because there is something a bit creepy and weird about some guy standing over you and you're asleep in bed. It wasn't the fact that he was standing over you that scared me, it was his face. And the annoying thing is, I don't remember what his face was. There was a face, I remember there was one, but I cannot picture it at all. It's like it was totally blank. There was something about it that was terrifying, but at the same time there wasn't one there, or it isn't one I remember, and it's, well, obviously there's a face there, I just don't remember what it is. So yeah, weird. Anyway, yes, there's a Lovecraft quote, which I'm probably going to misquote, because I don't have it written down for me, but I read it a while ago, which is something like the oldest and strongest emotion is fear, and the oldest and strongest fear is the fear of the unknown. Which I think explains those dreams and why I was terrified by the others, but not. The first one was, technically the last one I had, but the plain one was a gory monster killing people in gory ways, and that's not scary. It was disturbing that my brain would think of this, but it wasn't scary. The other ones, which had a lot less actually happening in them, they were like very, very short dreams each one, they were scary, because that was unknown. The monster killing things is, okay, admittedly supernatural, but still known quantity. Everyone's going to die. The other ones, you don't know what's going to happen. It's strange. Now, admittedly, these are very weird examples of why I was actually afraid. But in principle, that holds. It's why movies, I don't find jump movies particularly scary. Creepy movies, scary, although I can't really think of any at the moment. I found The Ring scary, although the American version, first time I saw it, watched it again lately, it wasn't as scary. I should get around to watching the Japanese one at some point, apparently it's better. But yeah, films that are creepy are good. Films that rely on jump scares and so on are bad. Nightmare on Elm Street, for example, the first one, okay, well, maybe they're not that jump scary, but anyway, they're meant to be scary films. The first one the original was frankly rubbish, I thought. The remake, the worst film I've ever seen in my life. Maybe not actually, I have seen Starship Troopers 2 and 3. Okay, the worst film I've ever seen at the cinema, and the only time in my life I have felt like walking out of the cinema. I've also seen Star Trek Nemesis, but I kind of blurred that out of my mind. Yeah, the only reason I didn't walk out of the cinema was because I was watching it with friends. And yeah, it would have been rude. But my god, that was a terrible film. And not even just like the way they tried to scare things, it was just bad overall. The Woman in Black, yes. Because that's just come out, I've just seen it. I've seen the play as well, or I've seen a version of the play anyway. It had a sort of extra layer of narrative to it, a bit like in House of Leaves. In the play, anyway. And actually, the play did have jump scares in it. It was quite amusing, actually, because at one point I saw it with my mum, and I was sitting there thinking, if I were them, I'd have a jump scare about now. Nah, they wouldn't do that, that's too obvious. About 5 seconds later, bang! And loads of people, everyone in the room jumped pretty much, well, obviously I jumped a bit because loud noise, you jump, it's automatic. But at the same time I was thinking, as I jumped, I was thinking, oh yeah, they actually did do that. Fair play, I wouldn't have done it, I thought it was too obvious. Everyone else in the room didn't get it. My mum, who was sitting next to me, actually screams, which I found very amusing. But at the same time, I mean, jump scares do have their place. At the same time, it had some genuinely creepy stuff in it, and the ghost doesn't even really do much. Okay, granted, she means the kid dies, but it doesn't do much. The film, on its own, would have been a mediocre film. Celebrated Daniel Radcliffe, though, he did the best he was given with a not very well written part. Yeah, but the film would have been a mediocre film, except that it should have been so much better. It's, I mean, they turned it into this long list of cliches. They've got excessive number of jump scares. They've got the bloody horror movie noise and like the music that happens. I'd class it under the music because it's not a noise that happens that characters hear, but the sort of woo noise whenever anything jumps out, even if they jump out silently. Stop doing that. It's just annoying. If I was making a horror film, the very first thing I would say is, if anybody in the sound editing group, whatever they're called, suggests that, you are fired immediately. I'd warn them of this before they have a chance to suggest it, because I don't want to just be rude and fire people, but afterwards I would fire them, because it's stupid. Don't put it in. It's annoying. So it's just a series of cliches. Loads of jump scares, loads. They switched the characters around and added useless characters and so on. I mean, to be fair, it is a pretty difficult film to make into a good play to make into a good film, especially the version I saw, which couldn't have been done. Because it had like an extra layer of narrative with the main character and an actor acting it all out. They make the townspeople the ridiculous, incredibly stereotyped thing with the whole, oh, we are backwards, superstitious townspeople who don't trust you, newcomer, with your newfangled ways and your skepticism, which is just, stupid. They warn him off in the play because they actually know that there's a monster there that will kill his kids. Also, a monster doesn't kill anybody's kids. It kills the kids who've ever seen it. There was one creepy bit in it, and that was a bit that wasn't a jump scare. At first, anyway. It was this bit where he's looking out the window, and you see it from outside. So from outside the house, you can see him looking through the window, and like the ghost's face just appears next to him silently, and then whoo, jump scare. Stupid. It would have been so much better if they didn't have that noise. There was no jump scare. The face just appears next to him, and that's it. That would have been creepy. Anyway, hang on. How long have I been talking for? Oh, yeah, I've been talking for way too long on this. I've switched from a dream blog to movie review, which I didn't intend to do. But anyway, yes. My point is,